This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Uh, yeah, that's not how I meant to start it. I meant to start like this. Henshin Inspection presents Going Ultra. Here we go. So join me as I talk about Ultraman Arc Episode 10, which is called To My Distant Friend. And in my short, I said that I didn't know what I was going to say in the review here because I don't really know what this episode was about. Don't really know who it was for. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. It was there. There were some cool things that happened in it, but I didn't really get anything out of it too much. I got no takeaways, basically. I have no takeaways. So I'm just going to go through my notes real quick and talk about each thing, and then I'll circle back and I'll focus on what I think maybe they were trying to say and what they were trying to do. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it because I just don't really know what to say about this. So I've got Noisler. Noisler has a cool design. Looks little bit like a gremlin. Looks a little bit like Toothless in his eyes, anyway, from How to Train Your Dragon. And I thought it was a cool design. I liked it a lot. I like the fact that it was framed in such a way that it looked like a ship in that shot. It kind of looked like it was from Star Wars: A New Hope, with him coming into the scene. Like him eating noise or whatever, like didn't really make sense. He didn't make like the noise disappear at any point. Like he absorbed a sound signal, and then the next moment, he made a thumping noise as he, boom, 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 was walking through, going to Kazuo's building to destroy it, I guess. And, like, why was he trying to destroy that specific signal? Was it so that he could be baited to follow the rainbow spiral thing? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't get it. So Fio and Kazuo have an interesting relationship. It's ostensibly a friendship. I think they've been talking for a month. Maybe it was 2 months. I don't know. I think it was a month. And, like the spoiler is she's this alien. She's a humanoid, or maybe she's a giant, wombat, in space, who has translation technology. Why did wombat come to mind? I do not know. But she's talking to him and they have this relationship, and he loves her so bad, but she treats him like, oh, never mind. Yeah, it's they have an interesting relationship where like he's kind of fallen in love with her over the phone. It's kind of like an online relationship. It's kind of like a long distance phone relationship. It's kind of like pen pals. In a way, it kind of reminds me of Voices from a Distant Star, which is fantastic. You should definitely check that out. I don't remember how long that was, and I watched it a long time ago with my wife before she was my wife, and she was like, "I don't really get this," and I loved it and cried. It was amazing. And it's definitely got similar vibes, and there's something there. There's something there that I do like, that like desperation and that relationship between them is kind of cool to see. But like in Voices from a Distant Star, this guy and his girlfriend were texting each other. If you don't know what that is, you should really check it out. It's like, I think it's an anime classic. And if you don't know it, I think shame on you. No, it came out at the right time. I was in high school, and it had come out sometime before then, and it was fabulous. So anyway, definitely check that out. Oh my goodness, yeah, hard recommend. Like, I'm not gonna. I don't know that I'll look it up. Maybe I'll look it up and see it and talk about it. But basically, this guy's girlfriend is going off to fight against aliens across the universe, across the galaxy, whatever. And because of like faster than light travel, which is something mentioned, well, so in hard sci-fi, apparently instant communications from one planet to another or ship to ship out in space would be super difficult. I'm actually reading this interesting novel by Jeffrey H. Haskell, who wrote the Arsenal series, Full Metal Superhero. If you like Iron Man at all, if you like Super Sentai at all, or Power Rangers at all, maybe Kamen Rider too, you would definitely like it. Jeffrey H. Haskell, Arsenal, Full Metal Superhero. Go check that out. It's fantastic. It's really good. Actually, like the... anyway, Mr. Haskell, you can handle the criticism. These books were traditionally published, and there's like 9 of them, and I would say the first 5 are like rock solid, and somewhere in there they get a little bit less in quality, and it feels like there's stuff that's skipped out on, and that's like the details are fudged or left out, or like there's something I'm missing. And like that was the traditional publisher let him put that through, and they didn't catch any mistakes. And I feel like those were mistakes and genuine things that give they lower the series overall. But I re-listened to it recently, and it's still really cool. Those issues were still there, and I did pick up on them, but the rest of it was really good. And I would say like if the other books were like a 8 or 9 out of 10, then the ones where those like weird gaps in knowledge or information happen made it like a 7 out of 10. But it was still really good because you're getting to spend all this time with characters you really like. And I would say the other series is a little less awesome, and like it's a lot gorier. So if you like gore, check out that one because his character, she gets powered up every time she sheds blood. Of is it just bad guys or is it anybody's blood? I don't know. Oh, it's anybody, I think. Anyway, but it's pretty crazy. It's called Superhero by Night, and that one's called The Wraith. So it's kind of like the Shadow if the Shadow was um, really murderous. Um, like to high body count. So it's interesting. But Arsenal's really good. But anyway, Haskell's writing a sci-fi series that I'm listening to now. It's called Grimm's War. The first book is Against All Odds. It was really, really good. And they talk about like sending packets, which is, what you call in ISP or in the way internet works, we send packets of data. That's how the internet was structured, and that's basically how it works. Even though our internet protocols have been updated, but we still send packets basically. So. Hard science fiction focuses on the fact that not only would you have the Einsteinian theory of relativity thing where if somebody travels at the speed of light to the nearest star and then comes back and it only takes them X amount, or if they travel somewhere and it only takes them like a year, their time to travel back and forth, multiple years will have passed on Earth, which is kind of a scary concept. So Voices from a Distant Star takes that concept and apparently it works with data transmission too. So this guy's texting his girlfriend and they're texting back and forth. And at first it's like, standard, like, instant texting, and then it becomes like a day, like a couple hour delay, then a day delay, then a week delay, then a month delay, then a year's delay, and she's still off fighting as like a high school student in her jumper and whatever, in a giant mech that she's using to fight against these things, and like it feels very romantic and it feels very like the loyalty there and like the longing is like as a viewer, you get to see that, like, oh, this person's still longing for this person after all this time, and it's really touching and it's really emotional. And I feel like they try to go for that here, and it kind of works and it kind of doesn't. The banter and the talking back and forth between Kazuo and Fio was really cool, and it was kind of emotionally charged. But like him, like crying because she's dying towards the end, like it didn't really work for me, and I wanted it to, and I was like, waiting, and it didn't really work. And I don't quite know why. I don't think it's because it was the dub, because I'm a firm believer in dubs. And I don't know, I just don't think there was enough that we didn't get to spend enough time. Like, had Kazuo been a friend who was mentioned in passing of Yuma's, and like we knew that he was getting more and more distant from people as he was continuing to communicate or something, like had it been seeded more throughout the show, like it would mean more, I think. I'm not 100% sure how to fix it, but it just seemed off to me. So, not a big fan of that. The night shots in this were beautiful. I like seeing Japan lit up from space. That was pretty cool. This like blind love, like this loving relationship, almost romantic relationship that he forms with this person who he can't see. Like the idea of that is really cool, and it's really kind of like moving and touching. But again, like she calls it a friendship, and I don't know, being the last living being on Earth, or on her planet, I can see her communicating with somebody. Like she would instantly form this deep connection with them, and I can see why that would happen. And it feels good. Like something about it feels good. It's just, I don't know. It was weird. It was just a little odd. And like the fact that her planet was dying from pollution felt a little preachy. I've watched a lot of Studio Ghibli movies. In those, Hayao Miyazaki preaches against war, and he preaches against like disrespecting the environment and like pollution and things like that. And I always love it. It's preach preach harder, daddy. Like that's where I'm at with him, for the most part. And this felt a little like not so great. Again, it's a totally different animal, but if you're gonna preach, you got to do it well. Otherwise, it's not good. It really takes away from your project as opposed to enhancing it. So yeah, I don't really know where they were going with that. And let's see. At the very end, Kazuo is out. He's not stuck in his apartment anymore. He's not communicating. Like we see that he has a problem with communicating with people and connecting with people, and yet he was able to connect with this person who was so far away on another planet. And he says something that Yuma says the distance doesn't matter. Like just because she was far away doesn't mean that you couldn't have a meaningful relationship with her and have this connection with her, which is a great and beautiful sentiment. It works both ways though. And I find when people are trying real hard to say something that they find meaningful, they sometimes lose focus on conveying the message and say kind of the opposite. And this does go both ways because the distance doesn't matter. Somebody can be right next to you and you could be not communicating with them. You could be not connecting with them. You can be disconnected from them even though you're ostensibly communicating with them and connecting with them. Families where everybody's staring at their phones, or everybody's watching TV in a different room of the house, or all watching something different on their phones together at the couch or at the table or whatever. Like, those things are not good. They're not healthy. They're not helping the people connect with each other. And like, maybe that's what it's about, but Kazuo doesn't seem to be paying any price or facing any consequence for having accidentally brought this kaiju here. Which, like, why was Noisler after that particular signal, and what did it want with it? Like, none of that really makes sense, and like, I feel like we're supposed to take something away from this and really feel something from it that I just don't think it was very effectively communicated, and I don't quite understand why. I don't understand what happened here. And gosh, my computer's not working properly right now. I have it running a diagnostic. Otherwise, I would check and see exactly who worked on this episode and what else they've worked on, so I can get a better idea of it. But yeah, it's really frustrating. I'm actually gonna just close out with one more thing. I like the use of, they have these arc gags that they use. I don't know if that's the official term. I feel like that's kind of the official term. Anyway, and in this episode, the arc gag was that he broke apart his shield, his Giga Barrier, I think is what it's called, and this is weird. Did he break it and he threw it out and they like reformed into complete rectangular ones? Because it didn't look like they were shards. It looked like they were multiple rectangular ones, which I would think he could just make multiples of them and that would be fine, but he didn't. Honestly, because of the noise thing, there were a couple times where I thought about Spider-Man 3 at the end, where he sticks all those poles, those like Engine 5/8 stainless steel poles. That's something I worked with at my job, so it's super familiar to me. Around Venom, and then he bangs them, and then he causes like this harmonic resonance thing to use sound as a weapon against Venom, against the symbiote. It almost felt like there were moments where they were like kind of hinting that that's what they were going to do, and then when he does kind of the pinball thing where he sets the shields up and then they spin around with that rainbow blade thing he's got, that very Ultraman, classic Ultraman attack, the like saw blade thing, spiral saw blade. He sort of did that, and then at the end, his chest thing was making, his color timer was making a sound that Noisler didn't like, and then he somehow got the noise of it, like, I don't know, somehow the sound of his saw blade thing resonated with Noisler as well, and then he got it to chase it and go away. So like, he didn't kill the kaiju because I'm not sure why, when he probably easily could have, which I guess he doesn't want to kill if he doesn't have to. And it was just after the noise, so he could just send the noise somewhere else. But like, how indefinite is that thing? But I guess if it's far enough away, there's no more noise on Earth because the transmission has died out, because Fio's planet is dead and it's no longer sending a transmission to Earth, and he'll just chase that until whatever. Like, yeah, I guess it didn't need to die. I don't need him to kill in every episode. It's just kind of strange. I don't understand what was going on here. Okay, so I looked it up, and the writer for this episode of Ultraman Arc is Junichiro Ashiki. So I'm just going to read straight from the Ultraman wiki here. Junichiro Ashiki is a Japanese screenwriter. He has participated in the screenwriting and series composition of the Ultraman series. Okay, it's a big deal here, right? Let's see. Ashiki began working at Tsuburaya Productions' literature department in the 2010s, where he was responsible for writing scripts for the company's works and also serving as a producer and sound effects artist. Cool. And this one's about sound. In addition to his basic responsibilities for scripts for works and serialized works, he also supervised the background settings for Ultraman Taiga. It's one I'm not familiar with. Isn't it the one that got turned into the 4Kids dub? Let me just double check. Ultraman, Ultraman. I think that's the one. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I got distracted there. So, on March 31st, 2022, Ashiki announced on his Twitter that he had left Tsuburaya and would continue to participate in Tsuburaya's Productions work as a freelancer. Okay, interesting. So, Ultraman series Junichiro Ashiki wrote the following episodes of the following series: Ultraman Ginga, Friends Left Behind; Ultraman X, The Light of Victory, which exceeds all limits. Actually, I'm going to skip to the episodes that are relevant to me, because that makes the most sense because I've seen them, so I can talk about them. So he wrote Insurance Hero, which is an episode I praise. That's from Ultraman Blazar. It was episode 22. He wrote Ultraman 12, Let's Go Blazar, which is where Cabalga's in there, and Hiruma calls the stone to himself after having left it behind, and he transforms and fights it. And that's a good one. Let's see. Escape is Ultraman Blazar episode 11, so it was the previous episode. Yes, 12 does come after 11, and that's the one with the big starfish guy, and that's Damaga, who's another of the space kaiju from that. And then yeah, that's the episodes I know: Insurance Hero, Let's Go Blazar, and Escape, which I think I liked all of those episodes. If I'm remembering correctly, I think I praised them all. So interesting. Insurance Hero is kind of a, more personal story, more human story. And I would say that To My Distant Friend is also a human story and a personal story, but I just don't think it's told as effectively. And I don't think that it either just wasn't my taste, my speed, or something was lacking in it. I'm not sure which it is. And that's all I have to say for now. So I want to know what you thought about this episode, and if you're familiar with Ashiki and his work, and if you found his other works good like I did, and this one was lacking, or if you liked his other works a lot and you like this one as well too. I'd like to hear that, if that's the case, and I'd like to hear what you liked about it so much, because I'm a little confused as to what the selling point is, or what the real strong thing is here. So anyway, until next time, folks, take care, be well, be ultra. Please like, share, subscribe. Check out mjmunoz.com so you can find all my work there. I am working on a lot of things. I want to get children's tokusatsu books written for children, as well as my stuff that's already tokusatsu inspired. So anyway, I'd appreciate if you check that out and see all the other work I'm doing there. And until next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe to keep up with me. Like and share to help me reach more people like you. And go to mjmunoz.com to find your next favorite thing. And don't forget to let your voice be heard. Stories are always better when you're part of the conversation. Until next time, be well. This is MJ signing out. This has been a Story Over Everything production.